the map that was probably the best from them, which was King's Row at the time. You know, Michael on Tracer a lot, and then putting Baby Bay on something like Soldier or Genji, and then they would just, you know, the next map or the next team that they would play, if they went back to the same exact map, they did the same exact setup, they would switch roles. You know, Michael would be on that Genji, or he would be on the Soldier, and then we'd see Baby Bay on the Tracer instead. So it was really cool to see that. Now, you know, going into it in this phase, I think that everything is going to be more than likely kind of more set in stone. And something that has been interesting to see from me so far, at least with this team, is that Michael has not been playing the DPS role on this team. Under the name Stone Cold, he's actually been playing a lot of Diva, a lot of off-tank. Apply is going to be playing most of the projectile stuff, at least in terms of like Genji, I would have to assume. But they have Hobbs there. I mean, you're talking about some really hefty hero pool DPS coming out from Apply and Hobbs for sure as well.
This should be very exciting. It is a little worrying for No Anime Allowed, who struggled a little bit with Malicious 6 at times. It didn't look like it was their best performance by any means, but credit to Malicious 6 where credit's due in their performance overall. But Hurix, I mean, look at this roster. This is a very experienced, very talented individually, and we'll see how talented they are as a team in a few moments here, as this is their first AG, I think, or second AG. I think they played a few weeks ago. They didn't quite play last week there. I think they were missing somebody, but first time on AG stream, the name Kungarna. It's been over a year, Hurix. Week 81. Let's see, are they going to be able to take home first place? As Hobbs, the first to fall. Not what you want to see. They don't have a Mercy either.
Gonna be very tough because Hobbs is gonna have to just use a lot of his mobility just to get back. Apply putting a lot of pressure, but he's off the high ground. That's gonna open things up. The Zenyatta's gonna be completely exposed now.
Hurix, this is not looking good at all. Apply's not in a good spot. He's going to be forced to drop back. Oh, man. What do we have in our hands here? No Anime Allowed. Looking so comfortable in that first push. They've got almost 6 minutes to push to that second checkpoint. And now we're going to see Sugar Free look to take to the skies here. See if he can find a few picks. Needs to be very careful regardless. Crimzo, Apply, very talented in what they are on right now. So needs to be careful not to poke his head too far out here and get picked off.
But now they're going to be trying to deal with Sugar Free a lot because they have, you know, Sugar Free has so much ability to do pretty much whatever he wants with that Mercy up there in the sky with him. And they're just trying to make sure that he stays safe, as Tekka actually getting very aggressive, turning their heads a little bit. And that's going to be a big deal because now everybody's trying to look behind them and deal with this Tracer. They're going to finally get the kill, but at the front line, they're still, wow, they're actually still winning. They shouldn't have been able to win that one, given the fact that it was basically kind of like a 4v6, or 4v5 rather, but still pulling that one out. Kungarna definitely looking a lot better now.
Maybe just a little bit of a warm-up coming out there in that first fight to the side of Kungarna. You know, they weren't actually waiting too long. I think maybe like 10 to 15 minutes maximum when their semifinal finished, when they actually took a 2-0 in that one. So it's not like they had been cold or anything like that, but look at Vita Coco up here and Tracer in the back. That's Hobbs. They're looking to see if they can find a pick. He is going to get spotted out, going to jump to the payload, see if he can grab a kill into Sugar Free, who of course made the change. Pulse Bomb sticks the plug. Not quite going to be able to do enough to de-mech him, but Apply coming out with Tactical Visor, self-destruct, maybe at the wrong time, but does force him into a corner, so he's not going to find anything with the Tactical Visor. Going to get brought right back up for the Mercy now here. We are going to see a Transcendence on the payload come out, so no kills in favor of either side so far, other than Vita Coco getting brought back up into the mix. Michael taken out of the picture here, and this is looking like No Anime Allowed. They've got the numbers.
Everything looking a little bit disconnected from Kungarna in this fight here because, you know, we saw Michael getting pretty low, and then a little bit too late, Crimzo pulled out that Transcendence, so not saving the mech, which hurts Vita Coco a lot because that defense matrix there, it rather isn't there to be able to support the monkey and be able to help him sustain. And then on top of that, we also see them just pulling ults out. Somehow they're able to regain composure here on the point. Apply coming back and being able to dish out plenty of damage to be able to turn that back around, but just kind of some weird fights that we've been seeing between these teams right now.
That was very strange. I mean, Apply didn't get anything done with that Tactical Visor. Now he's down or back up to 60% self-destruct. See if he can connect. Not quite going to be able to find anything for himself. But Michael, maybe in a little bit of a rough spot here. He's going to be forced to use the self-destruct. He's going to get taken out of the picture here, but not without taking a life or a zone. Is Tekka going to get dropped down to about 305 here? But now we're going to see forwards go ahead and pop the Valkyrie, bring Tekka back up into the mix, give him that 6 on, I believe it's like 4 at this point in time, especially with Apply being taken down, but it's going to be Karkar bringing him back up on the Mercy and Hobbs here. So it's just a battle of the Mercies getting res on res, and now with both of the ultimates, or excuse me, the resurrects out of the picture, we'll see more than likely no enemy allowed. Take this. They've got the numbers. They've got the Transcendence on the point. Michael gets hit with the pulse bomb. He's going to be taken out of the mech. This is looking good for the offense.
The Discord going to be going out to Hobbs, so they're going to be able to deal with him pretty quick as well, with that Winston being able to finish that kill off and execute the Tracer. Now pushing forward, you know, and no enemy allowed has still such a stellar time so far here on Numbani.
Being absolutely dominant to get the map started. A little bit of a slow patch there, but that's to be expected if you are playing against a very talented and well-practiced team like Kungarna here. But they're having troubles trying to get the grip on Tekka, it feels like, as well. They do force out that Resurrect from the Mercy, but of course they're just going to pull back a little bit, see if they can make their stand right here, right now. They've got 3 ultimates to work with. Apply being an important one. We'll see if he's able to make any waves with this time around. Needs to try to get the plug out of that mech to get things started, though, as he throws out the self-destruct to see if they can catch him off guard. Transcendence forced out because of it.
Now Vita Coco going to have to unleash this Primal Rage if they want to continue pushing, but I think at this point you just pull back and just go ahead and regroup here, I think. But they're going to instead just try to keep pushing it, try to keep contesting this, but they're not contesting it, Storm. They're letting the payload continue to push. I think that's a little bit of a mistake here from Kungarna as they're trying to pull ults out, find some kills, and regain their composure. They actually look like they're going to do that again off the back of Vita Coco, but just it's been very weird between these two teams who are, you know, typically insanely talented, that they're just letting certain things go. You know, somehow Kungarna is able to pull out these fights where they are extremely disadvantaged, and it obviously shows you the mechanical ability that Kungarna has. But
oh, Dragon Blade to get things started. Karkar, the first to drop, or I guess second to drop for his team. That's what you want to see. If you're able to find a kill for yourself, make it the Mercy. As Michael going to be dropped out of the mech, that's kind of going to open up a little bit of, you know, sight here for the side of Paintbrush and Tekka, as well as they're going to continue to move forward. Hobbs is in the back. He's looking to creep around, see if he can find a pulse bomb kill for himself, but they're going to be hard pressed to get all 6 back in time here. Supply made the move over to the Genji a little bit ago here, but he's dangerously low. Transcendence on the point. They have to stick around. They can't afford to drop off Yerks. They're about under 2 meters away from getting this 3rd checkpoint. Michael out of the mech once again. Not a good look. And with forwards coming up on a Valkyrie, they're going to be looking so good, but so have Valkyrie coming out from the side of Karkar as well, and a Transcendence Yerks. They still might actually have a chance to pull this one back.
now Sugar Free trying to get this blade generated up inside of a lot of this healing coming out from forwards, and there's the blade coming out. He should be able to close this one out here, find the Mercy kill, and that he does, along with a couple others.
Crimzo not quite able to make it back in time, picks up the 3K, I believe, coming out from Sugar Free with the Dragon Blade. They complete the map with 1 minute 25 seconds, and Hurix, man, I didn't think it would be like this to get the set started, let alone at all in this set. I thought it would more than likely be domination from Kungarna across the board, but no anime allowed, taking it to a new level here. We'll see what they can do on defense.
Matchup looking a lot closer than I actually originally anticipated, but you know, when you look at the roster from No Anime Allowed, it's stacked just as much. You know, Rampant Rhino, the Plug have looked insane as a duo so far as tanks, and you know, Michael, while he is a talented player that we've seen at the contenders level, you know, he is making a swap. He is changing roles over to the off tank position, and when you talk about, you know, making a swap, you know, going over to something like a Zarya, I think it's pretty easy to be able to make a swap like that. You know, it's a very straightforward play style. There's a couple of things that you want to be able to do that, you know, as long as you're aware of them, you can make those adjustments. But playing something like a Diva, I think there's a very, very high skill ceiling. You know, there's a big difference between what we see here from Michael and what you would typically see from, you know, an all-star Diva like, you know, Cool Matt or something like that at the Overwatch League level. So that might be hurting them a little bit. It's tough to say, but so far we've seen a lot of good stuff here from No Enemy Allowed, holistically, but certainly from their tank line especially.
And on defense, they're not going to be changing anything up. Sugar Free back on the Soldier 76 here. So pretty much playing to what they played in the semifinal match with Militia 6, but here they're looking a lot better than they did in that matchup. And again, I don't want to discredit Militia 6, but I wouldn't say that they're on the level of Kungarna by any means, and Kungarna kind of struggling there on defense. So the big question here is, what kind of a start is Kungarna going to have with this aggressive composition they're going to be throwing out here? Applies Genji is extremely good from what we've seen in the past. Can Hobbs keep up with him? Do they have what it takes to take care of Tekka as well and try to contest this high ground?
And now it's all going to come down to these cooldowns here from the tanks, as Vita Coco still on that floor level alongside Michael. They're going to just go ahead and jump right on up there. They're going to take everybody off of that high ground, but Vita's going to take a lot of that pressure because, again, Michael was not there for the defense matrix. He was not protecting his monkey.
They don't have a Mercy either, so Vita Coco not going to be able to get back up into this fight, though the plug will be taken out of the mech up top. Apply able to find the kill onto him right here. Forwards nowhere to be found in this fight in terms of getting his teammates up into and back into the fight itself here. So Kungarna going to be able to come out with a quick capture, basically the same time we saw out there from the side of No Anime Allowed. So they're on a similar pace right now and looking very good in doing so. Apply ready to go with that Dragon Blade.
Still a very, very well executed dive coming in from the defensive side, especially. I mean, Vita Coco maybe getting a little bit too aggressive there with Michael getting low on that defense matrix as they pushed in, and then pulling off, of course, left him very, very vulnerable. But, you know, still the rest of these guys from Kungarna were able to just shore up that loss and be able to find those kills, and Michael helping out a lot with that by just holding that corner down.
Dragon Blade coming out here from Apply. What's he able to find with this one? Going up top, looking for a Mercy if possible, able to force him a little out of position, but no, he comes up empty-handed here. This is going to be the defense looking to hold on as Michael is going to be taken out of the picture. They've got the 6-on-4. They're going to press the advantage now by a little bit more time off of the clock, all at the hands of just dropping that Mercy ultimate, which was primarily used to get away from that Dragon Blade as well, and keeping his team nice and healthy. So not really forced to use the Resurrects, though.
Paintbrush as well, holding on to a Transcendence for himself as Crimzo holds onto one of his own, and on the other side, Karkar ready to go with Soundberry pretty soon. So these guys will be able to get very aggressive here and be able to just kind of overextend it if they have to, because they're going to have those supports with those ults ready to go as well.
Transcendence out from both ends here as Sugar Free waiting for that to expire to drop the Dragon Blade, immediately follows through with the kill. Couple for himself, Hurix, and that's going to be no problem whatsoever for the Ninja to be able to clean that one up for the side of No Anime Allowed. So a couple of crucial holds at that point, Hurix. I mean, capturing that second checkpoint only gets you an additional 90 seconds, and they're just now hitting under 4 minutes to work with. So I think No Anime Allowed, they need to continue to do this, continue to hold them shy of that second checkpoint if they want to have any chance, I'd say, of holding them under 125 on the clock. It's Kungarna. Plenty of time, plenty of ultimates to work with. Can Hobbs finding opening pick is the real question. Self-destruct to get things started from Michael. Able to find forward.
What a pick.
Excellent pick.
That's the best. I say it time and time again. When you find that first kill onto the Mercy, that's the best possible thing that you could hope for, other than just a full team wipe off of that. If you're looking for one kill, make it the Mercy, especially on a fight like this where it's just so important to deny that ult charge going into the last part of this map where Forwards now isn't going to be able to get as much going off of the back of that kill.
Pulse Bomb doesn't find anything, buys him a little bit of time. No Apply getting into the back line with the Dragon Blade, but it doesn't matter because Forwards is picked off once again by the Coco coming up clutch with the Primal Rage. They pop a Transcendence just to stay healthy on the payload, ensure that they solidify this one, Hurix, and they are going to be rolling into that second checkpoint with 4:15 on the board. Quite the quite the amount of time they've got to work with here, but No Anime Allowed, I've got a little bit of faith that they can make a couple of holds here. Off the back of potentially Sugar Free with that Dragon Blade, they just need to make sure Forwards is kept safe. The last team fights were because he was taken down first.
Vita Coco just looking so good in this matchup. A lot of mistakes on both sides so far, but, you know, they're able to utilize that huge mechanical skill that they have, both of these rosters rather, to shore up some of that a little bit. And now we're going to be seeing some aggression coming out from Sugar Free as he pulls the blade out. Already found Karkar.
Ooh, both supports down at the hands of the Dragon Blade Hurix, and that's enough to more than likely wrap up the fight. But as they say that, he was taken down. Pulse Bomb in the back. Gonna kind of go between the goalposts there of looking for the supports from the side of Hobbs. So they're going to be forced to back off with Michael being taken out of the mech. See if they can find a late kill onto him. Oh, he's going to be taken down by the plug as he tries to get back into his mech, I believe. So Hurix, 310 to work with. We'll see if Apply can pull this game out for the rest of his team here, because he's only, I guess they're coming up with a Sound Barrier and Transcendence, but I'm looking for him to make some plays and find Forwards to get the fight underway.
Basically just waiting for that Primal Rage from Vita Coco. Every time he's pulled that out, we've seen him get 1-2 kills almost every single time. They've been able to win fights off the back of it, but he is going to go down early. That pressure coming out from the Discord and Tekka, way too much for him.
Yeah, and the Transcendence just a hair too late coming out. I don't think Crimzo expected that amount of pressure to just drop instantly on Vita Coco, which ultimately sealed their fate. And, you know, they lost a big ultimate now that Sugar Free is coming up on that Dragon Blade. They're going to have Sound Barrier for it, Purix, but a Transcendence would have been even that much better moving forward. So down to 215. This is looking good here for the defense. This could be a map #1 upset if no enemy allowed. Make a couple more holds. See if Tekka and Sugar Free can guide the way.
Have that Sound Barrier available. Can Hobbs find a pick with this Pulse Bomb that he's looking for? He's looking at the tanks, actually, but it seems like he's instead just going to harass the backline plug, going back into the mech, as Michael does have his self-destruct ready.
Yeah, and they actually used the Sound Barrier at the start of the fight here. Sugar Free still sitting on a Dragon Blade, but with that in mind, it's pretty like even across the board. The defense, of course, they have that massive spawn advantage, so they're going to end up coming out on top, and they hold on to a Dragon Blade. There is no Transcendence ready to go from Crimzo. Karkar makes a late swap to the Mercy.
It's going to come down to Vita, man. I mean, when we see this Blade pull out, if Vita can actually lock Sugar Free down, either with the Primal Rage and knocking him away when he throws out his Swift Strike, so that he can't actually find any kills and everybody just pulling back, or he just locks him down, puts a bunch of damage out, but if he finds a kill at all, which he won't, they find it, and they can push forward off of this. Very, very quick stuff from Vita Coco there.
And it's always Vita Coco coming up here in
every
the kill
time.
feed. We're always talking about him. He is a big playmaker on the Winston roll here, and he's going to force them all back into the spawn. Thankfully, there's a little bit of room still to be pushed here for the payload. So no enemy allowed. Should be able to contest this one. Tekka is nearing that. They don't really have much to work with other than the support ultimates, which could be enough. They need to get on the payload. Rampant Rhino is here. They're going to go ahead and pop. Forward's ultimate Paintbrush needs to get that Transcendence on the payload. Nobody is there. You got to stick on it, man. Transcendence comes out from Paintbrush. Forwards, he brings up 2 back up into the mix here. This is looking good for the defense. The self-destruct is out. It doesn't quite find anything, but they still have to take care of the 2 tanks on the payload. They don't really have any other healing other than Karkar now coming through with his Valkyrie. They need to find the kill. Self-destruct, it finds Forwards, and this is looking like Kungarna can pull themselves back into this one. 18 seconds remaining, but Sugar Free with the Dragon Blade. Does he have what it takes this time around, Purix? He is all alone with Tekka. Tekka, the lone survivor. He is going to be taken down in a matter of seconds. I can't see him living too long. And Purix, they finish out the map with 5 seconds. Oh my goodness.
Man, I mean, all that they were looking for there was just take out a couple more seconds, disallow Kungarna from having that opportunity to get a tie here or even go for a win. You know, there is time for that. We did see them pushing through on that first objective with their first fight. So it's very, very possible that we could see Kungarna take this first objective, not even just the first tick, but obviously just continuing that assault, putting out that pressure, holding out, and making that first point capture work for them, and then pushing it in through overtime. And you never know what's going to happen when you see an overtime push, because we've seen teams take it the distance on more than several occasions here on AGs, and even in a lot of pro play as well. So, you know, it's a tough call at this point to say who's going to be able to pull this out, because anything can happen in this kind of setting.
Oh man, what a finish coming out there from Kungarna. Sugar Free, 2 Dragon Blades in a row, just not able to make it happen here, X. And a lot of that from Vita Coco, man. He has just been so dominant. Talked about it before, but again, do they have what it takes? Apply back on the Genji, Hobbs back to the Tracer, and Karkar back to the Lucio here, back to the roots of what they ran originally. Didn't really take them long to secure the first checkpoint here, X. So Kungarna, they've got a fighting chance, like you said.
We're going to be seeing them hold up top on this short right corner here, both side of coast. Now, going over here to the defensive side, Sugar Free still opting to stay on this Genji, and now it's going to be a big opportunity for Vita Coco to really kind of counter dive onto wherever that Genji wants to go, put some pressure onto him if he doesn't have that second Swift Strike ready to go after a quick kill, which is very unlikely that he would. They could find a quick kill off of that. And Crimzo, oh man.
Yeah, that's a nice pickup for these guys. They might be able to get him back up. I don't know. He's kind of out of the way. We'll see if what they're going to do. And Purix, they've already secured a tick. Tekka is coming off a respawn. They're going to have to contest some way, somehow. But no, the plug taken out of the mech. Rampant Rhino going to be dropped here. Too much pressure coming out here from the side of Kungarna, who are going to be able to secure this first checkpoint. Maybe the plug, they don't contest in time. Oh no, it's the plug denied to get back into the mech here in Kungarna. They've got a chance. We'll see how far they can push it.
They need Michael back in that mech as soon as possible. They're going to continue pushing this objective with at least 3 on here. They're going to want to put as many people on it as they can because they know that they don't have to deal with the blade just yet. So there isn't a big amount of pressure to try to, you know, stay scattered or anything like that. And on top of that, they want to make sure that this payload is pushing as fast as possible. They want as much distance as they can get here.
You forced out the first Resurrect from Forwards. He has the Valkyrie. Karkar doesn't quite has his ready to go, but they do have a Transcendence coming out from Crimzo now. Forwards goes in, pop this one. They need to do it right now. Apply with the Dragon Blade, able to goes right through the plug, finds 2 for himself on the other end. Just Sugar Free finds 1 here, but it's just not enough. Forwards comes through with the Resurrect, but it's not going to happen. And Kungarna, honestly, they're going to continue to move forward and potentially secure a second checkpoint off this.
Oh, looking at the ults, they don't really have anything available, but one thing that they do have is Vita Coco and the Primal Rage. Now, this is a great spot for Vita Coco to have this Primal Rage at because when they get aggressive, we will see Paintbrush, maybe even Forwards, pulling out either to that tunnel down there, or they'll come down to that kind of coastal area over here to the behind Vita Coco, and either one of those areas, Vita Coco is going to be able to push them off the map, as he did the last time that they went through this attacking phase, but they opt not to any... they don't even try. They just let it go.
Gotta get something here now. Pulse Bomb out. Rampant Rhino barely stays alive thanks to his Primal Rage, but still, Karkar out of the picture, Apply out of the picture. This is looking like no enemy alive. Finally going to be able to make the hold they were looking to do so long ago. And Kungarna, with 60 seconds and some overtime here, they get 2 checkpoints on the board and a little bit of additional distance on top of that. No enemy allowed. They've got 2 minutes and 20 seconds to work with, so a couple of attempts for point A here at Expo. I don't know. Last time it took them, you know, like I believe it was like 30, 45 seconds to capture this first checkpoint, so could still be no enemy alloved's map. Just gonna, you know, have to push a little bit in overtime more than likely.
Oh. People in the chat talking a little bit about how Forwards has been dying a lot early, and you know, normally I'd be the person saying, you know, it's a tough position to be in. You know, obviously they're gunning for that first pick, but I think 3 of Forwards' deaths so far in this matchup has just been to Michael throwing out a random self-destruct, and Forwards just dies to it. I mean, it's been not just in this matchup, but in the other one as well, where Forwards just has taken those deaths. They need to figure out how to put their Mercy in a better position to be able to LOS away from those kind of ultimates, because those are free to get away from. I mean, as a Mercy, someone that's already safe, you just fly over to them. Guardian Angel, hit the spacebar, and you fly right on past them, and then you're safe. You're home free.
All or nothing here for the side of no enemy allowed. Best of 3 finals. So loser of this, not quite out of it yet, as we do head to Watch Point Gibraltar for the second map. Hollywood is the 3rd map in this drafted set, and Sugar Free back to the Pharah. He's ran it before here. He's going to do it again. See if Apply can try to match him with that Soldier 76, or if he's going to take complete control of the skies here, because that's the real question. He really needs to pop off, him or Tekka, if they want to get something going right away, as Rampant Rhino already dangerously low in this fight, needs to get some healing. He's going to get taken down. Crimzo consistently coming up with first picks to get these fights underway.
Crimzo has just been doing so much for this Kungarna team already, and Apply making sure that he gets his name involved as well. That'll be a quick hold, but they did let the first hit go. Still, though, you know, considering how much distance they got after this, they could very easily like let this go and then hold on to everything and just win that first fight coming out, as long as they pull as much as they can away from their opposition here. Now, obviously, they don't want to do that. You want to be able to make these holds as whenever possible, but still, if this point does go away from Kungarna, they still can be able to win this, no problem.
They're going to look to contest here. They do have a tick on the board, so that is an important thing, but the plug, dangerously low. Self-destruct comes out. Pulse Bomb finds Rampant Rhino again. He's the first to fall here, but maybe they can pull this one back. Oh, Karkar trying to come in for the res. He is going to get hit by Sugar Free. and going to be denied of that one. But here, there are still plenty of people here for the defense. And with the Mercy out of the picture, Kungarna in a great position to make a hold. 40 seconds remaining, and forwards coming up on the Valkyrie. Is it enough is the real question.
Crimzo and Vita Coco have just been mind gaming everybody in their matchup so far. I mean, Crimzo and Vita Coco have been utterly insane. I think really very impactful so far in this matchup that we've seen so far. And now 20 seconds remain, no enemy allowed. This is basically their last fight here. They need these ultimates to be able to push it, and then they're not going to have much left to be able to continue that push on the objective.
Can't afford to get picked off early, and again, it's going to be this time around his paintbrush taken down. He's going to get brought back up into this, and Karkar out of the fight. Curix, he had Valkyrie available. Dragon Blade in the back from Sugar Free. He's able to get through apply, and Curix, dare I say it, they may have just secured the first checkpoint, but it's going to take a whole heck of a lot more than that if they want to be able to take the map. And they're still dealing with a Winston. Winston's just going to back off of this engagement. Genji still searching for that kill, but they secure this one, and they're going to have to push. They're going to have to push quite the distance. I mean, an entire checkpoint, and a little bit after that in overtime. They've got to win at least 2 team fights to be able to secure this.
And they have nothing. They have no ultimates. They had to use everything that they had available to be able to actually secure that. Yeah, the Plug might be able to get a self-destruct here, but Michael already has one. We already know Forward is susceptible to those more often than not. And on top of that, they also have Karkar ready to go with a Resurrect. They have to stay on the point, and Michael finds a kill on a Rampant Rhino.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see. Forward's not able to get 2 people back up into this mix because the Plug was not in the mech to get the fight started. Curix, maybe a switch should have been in order, and they're going to come through with the res on the Vita Coco, and I'm afraid that could spell defeat here for the side of No Anime Allowed. They just don't have the numbers. A Dragon Blade from Sugar Free, is it enough? No, he is dropped instantly. They do have the spawn advantage, but that overtime is going to tick down so quickly at this point. The Plug out of the mech, nobody else in sight. Lucio trying to skip back, and Kungarna, a terrific comeback here on Numbani. They take map number 1.
And you saw right there exactly why Mercy is so strong in this meta. Not only do you have the ability to, you know, hold out, maintain composure and momentum by keeping your teammates back up and bringing them back to life with the Resurrect, that double charge. But on top of that, once you pull that Valkyrie out, you have a lot of team-wide healing that you can dish out. And because of that, you know, they only had 2 people really go down on the side of Kungarna, despite all that pressure coming from No Anime Allowed. You saw Vita Coco hanging on with just a shred of life left. Still Kungarna hanging on, though. Good stuff there from especially Crimzo and Vita Coco for sure. But overall, Kungarna kind of stealing that one away almost. Which is weird to say, actually, if you consider it, because Kungarna, I think, probably would have been the favorites going into this one.
Oh, by far. By far. At least in, you know, in my book, they were by far the favorites in the tournament. And No Anime Allowed, I was surprised they were able to put up that much of a fight in map number 1. I'm looking forward to our second map, which is Watchpoint, Gibraltar, Curix, and Kungarna going to be on defense to get things started this time around and see if, you know, they can take the 2-0 shutout here of the entire tournament and crown themselves as the victors for Week 81. Guys, we're in Week 81 of the AG Series, brought to you guys by Haste. Haste provides us with a $100 prize pool every single week, so a massive shout out to them and their contribution to the Overwatch scene, as they've been helping us out since, I believe, like March of this year. So quite a bit of money funneled into our prize pools, several thousand off of, you know, 100 a week now. So big shout out to those guys and what they've been able to provide as we continue with this series. But just waiting on the okay from Kungarna to get things started, as I'm sure they're doing plenty of preparation to move into this match here. But what are you thinking? Do you think we're going to game number 3 on Hollywood?
I don't think so. I think here on Gibraltar, we're going to be seeing Kungarna kind of figure out some of the issues that they had at first here, and they're going to be able to kind of push this one through. I think ultimately Kungarna is going to show that they are the better team, but that was just a really stellar performance on the first map there from Numbani from No Anime Allowed. But here we're going to be seeing likely apply, probably pull out that Genji, and I think that's probably a character that Kungarna can really get behind, that can really do a lot here. And waiting on Kungarna, it looks like, but This is the thing about Kungarna, you know, in the past, I think they really relied on guys like Baby Bay. Dogman being added to the roster was a huge pickup for them as well. And then their two tank duo that obviously, you know, they got pulled into LA Gladiators and they actually did incredibly against the Spitfire, you know, just a few days ago. Those kind of pickups, you know, they're looking for more of those, you know. They're looking to try to find a way to, you know, get in there with a very similar setup, and you know, getting a pickup like Kremzo, that's big to be able to fill the shoes of a guy like Dogman, who I think is a very, very stellar player, very knowledgeable, very analytical. But you know, you still have to find someone who can fill the shoes of Baby Bay, someone that's very dynamic, someone that's versatile, and someone that can get the job done. And in terms of calling these targets, calling the shots a little bit, and being a little bit of a leader in the team. And you know, it's kind of going to come down to Apply being that guy, maybe Hobbs to a degree, just depending on the comps that they want to run. But you know, I think with time, this roster is going to be just absolutely insane. But it's going to take a little while, I think, for Michael to be able to figure out, you know, what he needs to be doing in his role, and then be able to, you know, kind of help these guys push forward and understand exactly what kind of gameplay style they want to go with, and then, you know, being able to execute that to the highest degree, to the fullest potential that we saw kind of like in the Contender Series, you know, just a couple months ago.
No anime allowed. I don't know if they've ever actually won AG. I think they've gotten extremely close, and again, very close to doing so, but Kungarna in their path as the final boss. They were up 1-0 in this set. And Kungarna looking to find a 2-0 right here, right now. And here, I think I'm going with Kungarna here. It took a little bit of time for them to warm up, and I think No Anime Allowed is going to be able to put up quite the push here, but I'm not so confident in them being able to, you know, move it to a Game 3 on Hollywood. But Sugar Free, if it's going to happen, it's going to be off the back of this guy with those Dragon Blades, along with Tekka's Pulse Bombs. They've been standing out. But again, they need to keep forward safe. They keep Rampant Rhino safe. They consistently get picked off to get the fight underway from these self-destructs or just pulse bombs coming out from Hobbs as well. So need to be very careful of that happening again here.
And Rampant Rhino still taking that early pressure, has the Discord on him, so he's going to be more than likely falling out as Apply finds the kill with the Helix Rocket, and now Sugar Free doesn't really have anybody protecting him, so he's going to die off too. And Apply already with a great start here on the defensive side of Gibraltar, where they have stopped the payload right outside of that car wash area, which is perfect here for the composition that we see Kungarna pulling out.
Kungarna actually taking the approach of not playing up really close to the base. They're just playing very reserved, very careful play style. I'm not going to try to waste any time up front, and they do just that with that first kind of team fight victory here. But another one about to ensue. We'll see if Tekka can find a way to get into that backline, a way to get up top. They need to deal with Apply. Apply just sitting up top. He's got the support of Crimzo. He's got the support of Karkar as well. And the plug is kind of the only way they have to get up there, other than Sugar Free, and maybe Tekka can get to the back. But now they're going for the 6-man strat up top here, looking for a little bit of a wraparound. Dragon Blade almost at the ready.
Oh, Karkar almost taken out. They need to find this kill to stop this hold happening, and they find it. Kremzo under duress as well, as Michael not only loses mech, but loses life.
Oh man, Forwards was taken out of the fight. Maybe an opportunity to pull this back. Hobbs, Plum at the ready. And Hurix, dare I say it, they might have just done it. They do lose the Winston. The plug is up. It's the Tracer against the Baby Diva, and Tracer comes out on top. And Apply as well. He does his own thing in the back here. It's the DPS player is coming out strong for the side of Kungarna. 2 minutes now elapsed, and a Dragon Blade out of the picture from Sugar Free.
So now you have to wonder, is Apply going to be that next guy that Kungarna needs to, you know, be a mainstay? Obviously, he's looking really good at the moment, really having a great performance, especially on this map here, but they're going to have to continue this. They need to be very consistent here, trying to make this first hold work.
They're going for the same approach, except Tekka is actually on the payload, and Hobbs is going to spot him out. They're looking to wrap around again, but good amount of mobility coming out here from the defense, able to kind of keep in style with them as they look to contest that high ground. But that payload is still moving here because they need to get onto this one to contest. Self-destruct is out. Pulse Bomb finds Rampant Rhino. He's the first to drop again, but of course he's going to be brought back up forwards. Dangerously low to falling here. Is he going to be able to keep himself alive? Looks like that's the case. Sugar Free though, he's sitting on another Dragon Blade, but is it too late here? The plug is brought back up. They don't have Rampant Rhino back in the mix here, but with Karkar out of the picture, still an opportunity with the Dragon Blade out.
Oh, Apply's going to get killed off. Crimzo just barely too late here, but he's still going to be able to keep these guys up for the time being, and Lucio now with the Discord should fall here. As long as they can get some pressure over to Paintbrush, they need someone on the point here, and Michael has to do it. He does get on in time as Vita Coco falls, so he's going to be the only one left to try to deal with this at the moment.
Karkar comes in. He's got the resurrect. He brings up 2 for himself. Gonna give them the numbers. Hurix once again, they need to take care of forwards. Pulse bomb's out. The plug gonna be taken out of the mech. That's a huge pickup for these guys, but still, Rampant Rhino had the primal age, keeping them alive for the time being. With forwards out of the picture, Hurix, I mean, we're down to 20 seconds. Everything is on the table here for no anime allowed. They've got a few people still running around, and it looks like they might have just done it. Hobbs is the lone survivor. He's gonna be dropped, and they're going to be able to secure that additional 2 minutes and 30 seconds, keeping their tournament hopes alive here in the second half.
Now already no anime allowed, getting very aggressive, looking for the late kill onto Vita Coco, who just dives back. He's going to get helped out and supported by his diva this time around, not from Michael. So good play there from Vita Coco and Michael to get their boy out of there safe. So now they can go ahead and get involved in this fight early on. They can push this high ground. They need to get Apply up there as soon as possible, so that's what they're looking to do here.
See if that's possible here. I mean, Dragon Blade at the ready from Sugar Free. Again, this is the guy to keep an eye on. Karkar, though, going to be taken out of the picture. What a pickup. He's going. Both supports are already down to get the fight started. No anime allowed. They drop a sound barrier from Paintbrush as well. And Hurix, they are just trudging for it. They are dominating after that fight just before the first checkpoint, Hurix, and looking very good, holding on to 4 ultimates still.
It doesn't look like we're going to be seeing Kungarna with an ability to contest this. It looks like they are going to try to go forward. Vita Coco dropping that Primal Rage. He somehow gets onto the point, 0.88 meters away. Now it's up to Apply. Can he find the kills?
Oh, Hurix, it's so dangerously close here. Crimzo, they might actually step off of it. They're going to go ahead and drop the ultimate from Karkar. Pulse Bomb, self-destruct, excuse me, comes out here on the payload.
Wow.
Times 2 for himself. Michael picking up both support kills in that engagement. And Kungarna, what a crucial hold here with about 70 seconds remaining. Man, what a big play coming out from Michael. I've been looking for some plays from this guy, and finally it happens here.
He's actually been fairly consistent with his self-destructs, which is weird, I think, because of the way that he's been throwing them out. But nonetheless, that consistency is what you're looking for, and he's had at least that. But now holding on to this high ground, it looks like Apply is going to have to go ahead and drop off of that one. Oh, they somehow save it. Apply. Great game sense there to be able to protect that payload for his team.
0.37 seconds, or excuse me, meters away. They cannot afford to step off this one, but a Dragon Blade might force them to do just that. Sugar Free, he carves them up with the blade. 2 minutes to go, and 1 checkpoint yet to be secured here by no anime allowed. They might have it, they might have it in them here, so we'll see, but no ultimates are available.
Yeah, they've pretty much been relying here onto Sugar Free, getting a lot of value out of these blades, so they're definitely looking to have him get that back up as soon as possible. Otherwise, Apply certainly looking to try to stay on pace when we do see that blade come out. Try to contest from high ground and put some damage into that Genji.
Self-destruct, just trying to knock him away from the high ground on the bridge up there, but Apply just going to get back into position, not really being contested whatsoever here by the Diva. With that in mind, Pulse Bomb comes out. Hobbs not able to find anything for himself, but Michael trying to push them off the payload. Self-destruct, or excuse me, that's going to be a sound barrier now from Paintbrush, as Michael taken out of the mech thanks to Tekka with his Pulse Bomb. And quite a bit of damage here, because it's pretty stale on the point itself, but that's good for the defense, trying to buy some time here.
But again, this is another opportunity where they're still pushing the payload, so this is still working out for them. And on top of that, they're getting that much closer to having Sugar Free's blade. That's the biggest thing that you're looking for here. 45 seconds remaining. They still get it up around to that corner. Now they just have to get there quickly before it actually comes back around it. They don't want to fight on that corner. They want to be able to push it forward, and nobody contesting the point now, so they're going to actually get it around there and push right into Apply, take the free kill with the blade up.
And Valkyrie comes out from forwards, going to keep him nice and boosted up in terms of health. On the payload, though, it's Karkar picking up 2 with the Valkyrie for himself. Down to 20 seconds. No anime allowed. Have to win this fight here. It's all cards on the table with the Primal Rage now out from Rampant Rhino, but there's still so much distance to be covered here with the payload here, so it's going to allow for quite the trickle, I'd say, from the side of Kungarna if they need it. Self-destruct again from the plug. Not able to find anything. Let's force them into the base, though, for the time being, as they pick up a couple more kills here. Forwards out of the picture here, so that's not good for No Anime Allowed. But with that in mind, the kills are still going in their favor. The Vita Coco going to be taken down. A few seconds to contest Apply. He just runs in by himself. And here at Sarah Safe, they might have just won this.
Well, they needed that time to get Vita Coco and Crimzo back up onto the point. Since they have everybody on there, these spawns are going to come late now, as Michael does have that self-destruct, might be able to clear the point here, and he's just going to throw it right on up. He actually does find forwards. That's a big pick. Yet again, it's forwards falling.
But it's a pulse bomb onto Michael, who's going to take him out of the mech. That's not really going to keep him healthy on the point. They're going to be forced off of this one, and No Anime Allowed complete Gibraltar here in overtime, giving them a fighting chance to push this to a game number 3.
Still, though, having it in overtime, you have to wonder what's going to happen here. You know, if it does wind up Kungarna pushing this through, what's the overtime going to look like? Obviously, that first point definitely looking like Kungarna looked very solid on defense. I mean, they almost had that full hold there. That was another situation where it was just, you know, dangerously close to being over right at the start of things, and then Sugar Free's blades just allowed them to keep pushing it on through. Now, as they go over to offensive side, Apply looking like he might actually pick out the Widow, which if they give up server room and Apply gets over there, they're going to be able to take this first objective rapidly, to say the least.
Not a bad start to the map for No Anime Allowed here, but they still have work to do if they want to force it to Hollywood. And Kungarna, I mean, they looked really good on offense on Numani in both attempts. So, you know, I wouldn't put it past them to force this to a second attempt. The question is, how much time are they going to have on the board? Of course, it's not hybrid, so No Anime Allowed will at least have that minute to push. But will Kungarna have a couple of minutes, 3 minutes? I guess we'll have to see if Sugar Free can continue with what he was doing on the Genji. So much of that offensive push off the back of just massive Dragon Blade, you know, kills coming out from him.
Now, like Apply is sticking with this at the moment, and Sugar Free back on that Genji. And remember that Apply does have a Genji in his back pocket as well, that he can pull out for that ship phase if/when they get to that. And he's going to choose to go ahead look for an early pick, but they are all the way back here defensively. They are not allowing an opportunity for Apply to find that early first kill to create momentum for Kungarna.
Widowmaker out from Apply, like you had mentioned. We'll see if he's able to find anything. And as I say that, Tekka, the first to fall here, not really sure it's going to amount to too much. You'll see if Forwards wants to bring him up. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Oh, Sugar Free dropped as well. I'm assuming that might be one if they can even get to him. But this Widowmaker is going to get rather aggressive, and Forwards is going to be dropped as Vita Coco continues with the pressure.
Wow.
Didn't really expect that one, and the Widowmaker paying off massively here as Kungarna looking so efficient with this composition.
Why, just saying hi to the camera. He knows what's on him, especially after a play like that. Now he does have his infra sights available, and talked before about how they're looking for the next Baby Bay. Apply is looking more and more like he could fill that those footsteps, at least to a degree here. Big shoes to fill, but doing good to start things off. Man, wow. This guy is a monster.
Oh, man. They've got 5 minutes and 15 seconds. And Curix, they need to get a regroup, and they need to find an answer for the Widowmaker, and it's just not looking good. The Winston, the Diva, the Genji, the Tracer, they've got a lot to push back there, but they don't seem to be able to find a way to capitalize on it, or at least, you know, pull Crimzo and the rest of the guys kind of protecting them away from them.
Now, just giving a lot of space for Apply. This is a thing we saw a lot in the Overwatch League preseason. It's just boosting up that Widow so that he can take those big shots. If he lands those headshots, it's just kill after kill after kill, and he's done just that so far. Rampant Rhino and Sugar Free finally answering back, but left their entire backline completely vulnerable and open to the aggression from Vita Coco in the meantime, and they took advantage.
And Curix, feel free to leave the camera on Apply for the rest of the game, man, because he is just... I mean, what more can you do? A Dragon Blade out from Sugar Free. He's going to try to do something here, and it looks like a contest is going to happen from the defense. Pulse bomb out into Michael, but Apply it from downtown. Finds Sugar Free. Self-destruct is out from Michael. Michael is the only one contesting, but now the defense They've got the respawns. It's going to be Kungarna forced to regroup here, but nonetheless, so much time to work with.
And we do see Rampant Rhino pushing forward. Does have the Discord, so when you do see Karkar boosted by the Mercy and the Discord coming out to the targets that Apply is going to hit, if he goes for those tanks, they can get those kills very, very quickly when he hits those headshots. So definitely look for that. Plug going to be taking a little bit of pressure in the same. Oh, what? That was through the Winston, it looked like.
Oh dear, he's just grappling up top, looking for those mid-air kills if possible. They forced out the resurrect from forwards, who's still sitting on his Valkyrie, but Introside is up now from Apply, so he's going to have an easier time. Now, an even easier time coming through with these kills here. So we'll see if they're able to find anything. Tech are going to be taken down, but Hobbs is slowly pushing the payload. It's going to force the defense onto this one as they're looking to capitalize on the Winston being out of position, but no, Rampant Rhino comes through with a crucial kill on Apply. Might be just what they needed to make a stand.
Well, now they're going to be able to turn on to Vita Coco. He has to jump out. He doesn't have any cooldowns now. No leap, no barrier. Can they get something off of this? Michael looking for some form of picks here coming out from the self-destruct. Finds nothing, though.
They used a lot. They used Valkyrie. They used Crimso's Transcendence all the way in the back to actually find Rampant Rhino here. So that actually might have just been worth it because they're in such a good position. There are 4 people here for the defense. Make it 5 now. But the plug is taken out of the mech and not going to be in a good position. Now we see forwards coming out. Dragon Blade coming through from Sugar Free. Can he find anything in the back? Doesn't look like that's the case, but forwards, he had the Valkyrie here. He's keeping his team in this fight single-handedly right now.
Vita Coco still in this one as well, as it looks like Kungarna is going to be defended here. Rampant Rhino somehow finding ways to stay in this one and put some pressure out to Apply to be able to force them back and kind of shut off that just monster of a Widow pick. Now he's finally switching over to that Genji that I talked about before, and I don't think that anybody should be worried here if you're a fan of Kungarna, because as I said before, his Genji is very, very solid, and I think we're going to be seeing really good stuff from this just as much as we saw from the Widow. I don't expect Kungarna to slow pace at any time soon.
Under 2 minutes to go here. Transcendence still ready from Paintbrush, but forwards the first to fall. Not what you want to see. Transcendence out from both sides. Michael needs to keep himself in this fight. He is going to be okay. He drops the self-destruct on the payload. See if they can make a little bit of distance here. Nonetheless, they don't really have any massive ultimates still to work with other than that Primal Rage from Vita Coco. They're both going to drop it from both Winston's here. But that defense has the spawn advantage. This is not really necessarily good for Kungarna, but with forwards down again, Sugar Free with a Dragon Blade trying to do something. He finds Michael. Is he going to get anybody else? Doesn't look like that's the case as he's taken down, and Kungarna, they have the opportunity they've been looking for. Tekka going to be taken down, or excuse me, the plug going to be taken down. Tekka still in the area, but he should be taken care of, and that should be a second checkpoint secured.
Hobbs has been doing such a good job just silently being that kind of supportive DPS that you see some Tracers play as. You know, you have those really aggressive Tracers, but you also have those kind of more supportive ones. And Hobbs has been doing the latter, where he's just been creating that space, causing havoc, and allowing Vita Coco to kind of come through and be a star as he's just able to take advantage of the space created by Hobbs, just pulling people around, turning their heads, putting some pressure onto that backline.
Still not much to work with if you are the defense. Apply with the Dragon Blade. We'll see if he's able to find anything. Pulse Bomb out. Able to get the DMEC onto a plug, and that's what you need. Now Apply in the back. He's going to be dropped, though. Tekka pulls back. He finds the kill for himself, but Hobbs is here to make up for it. Karkar does have a Resurrect if he wants to bring him. He's going to bring up 2 more than likely, as he's looking for Vita Coco in the back. Able to get him for himself here, but forwards has his own Valkyrie at the ready. But still, all 6 of people are here for the side of Kungarna here. Can they get anything going? Crimzo with the Transcendence, but in the back, Sugar Free and Dragon Blade again. The plug finds 2 for himself. And oh boy, they make the stand.
Both support ults coming out there for Kungarna as Crimzo and Karkar both pull out the Valkyrie and the Transcendence. I think that was a big mistake from them. And now they're not going to have those available in a situation where they could really use them. And on top of that, they could actually really use that extra time that it would have created if they won this fight with time on the board.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be close regardless here. If there is a second attempt, it's going to be very similar in terms of time. If not, we could be heading to a game 3 right now. It's going to be up to whether or not Apply can find anything with this Widowmaker. They drop a self-destruct, but they lose Hobbs early on, and Vita Coco isn't in a really healthy state right now. They do get a pick on Tekka. That could be an opportunity to move forward, but he's going to be pretty quick to get off a respawn, especially since no anime allowed. They just retreat, going to look for a 6-man fight now that Tech is back up into this one. Hobbs needs to find something. He needs to find forwards. Pulse bomb onto the plug. Valkyrie comes out from forwards, and they're going to look to push this into overtime right here.
The Rampant Rhino being very aggressive to apply, now finally turning his head when he actually does make those engagements so he doesn't give up the headshot. Lost the headshot though, regardless before, but so far some really solid healing from forwards when he pops that Valkyrie to keep them up and in this one. Now 10 seconds remain, and we just saw Michael lose his mech. Finally, his ults are back up for the supports over on the side of Kungarna. We do see the Transcendence as well as the Valkyrie ready to go, but they're really going to need both of those to make this work for them because it's already in overtime, and Sugar Free has pulled the blade out once more.
Crimzo is there to combat it with that Transcendence, but it doesn't seem to matter. Both supports are picked off here. Excuse me, just one of them. Karkar is able to bring Crimzo and apply back up into this, but the self-destruct finds Crimzo. Oh, this is not good for Kungarna at all. The spawn is here for the defense. Apply is dangerously low. Doesn't look like the pulse bomb able to stick from Hobbs. It's him against the world with Vita Coco on the point, Furix. I just don't see it happening. A kill on a Sugar Free might keep their hopes alive for a little bit longer. Karkar is still here, Furix. They actually are pulling this back. Moira now coming out from Paintbrush. Rampant Rhino's off the board. Furix, what is happening?
There's no shields here for Paintbrush either, so if he gets aggressive, he has to pop that fade and just, you know, teleport forward, which he actually does, just jumping on the point. He has nothing to get out of the fight now. If they focus this Moira, he's completely dead in the water. Hobbs and Apply pushing forward. They're going to go for him as he actually is forced to go off the point now.
Oh my goodness, the pulse bomb though. Forwards is also taking down self-destruct from Michael. Finds Paintbrush. It's all on the Dragon Blade right now here. Sugar Free trying to do what he can. He finds 2 for himself. It's a 3-on-1. He's taken down, and Kungarna pull themselves back into this game. We are headed to round number 2, attempt number 2 rather. Furix, we've got a game on our hands. Kungarna still have a chance to make it a 2-0.
Wow. I did not expect it to take that long. I mean, you know, that first point that we saw and going into the ship phase, that kind of momentum that we saw from Kungarna, that's what I kind of anticipated throughout this this map. A couple of fights won by no anime allowed, but man, once they got to that halfway through the ship phase kind of moment, it completely pivoted. We started seeing Sugar Free come back alive. We started seeing Rampant Rhino and to a degree Plug, but I think it was mostly just up to Rhino figuring out how to put pressure on to Apply, so he's not able to have all that space that he wanted. You saw him starting to go for those butt dives, you know, where you jump up on the Winston, turn your camera completely away so you don't give up those free headshots as you approach, especially given the fact that Crimzo was so good. It looks like we need a pause, by the way. Just so good at, you know, dishing out those discords to the specific targets that Apply really needed them on, primarily being Rampant Rhino when he ran in. So, you know, not giving up those headshots, that free damage that would have been, you know, compounded by the fact that he was discorded. He started to be able to put out a lot more pressure, starting to take Apply out a lot of those fights, and when Apply had the opportunities, he's still, you know, Widow is a little bit inconsistent, and, you know, because of that, they were able to take advantage. So really good stuff. Halfway through the map there, to be able to stop Kungarna, that pressure that started early on with that Widow pick. Now, as they do switch sides here, Apply, I imagine Kungarna is going to be able to do pretty well here once again. I mean, they had a good first point hold, they had a good first point attack, so I think they do have a little bit of an advantage, but still, it's a lot closer than I think they would like.
All right, well, this is it for both teams. Final attempt. We'll see what they can do here. Are we going to be headed to a game number 3 on Hollywood, or Kungarna taking a 2-0 here with, you know, kind of, I would say, comeback victories on both Numbani and Gibraltar? I mean, looked kind of rough for them multiple times, but they're not going to have the Widowmaker here on defense here. It's both teams going back to what they originally ran. And we'll see if Kungarna can find themselves with a hold, because remember, man, they were about ready to make a full hold on this map and ended up giving all 3 checkpoints.
It's all about keeping your supports up, in particular the Mercy, because with this time, you know, it really comes down to the fact that you need to be able to maintain composure for basically one fight. Man, Crimzo versus Paintbrush has gone Crimzo's way so far throughout this series, time and time again, and a great start here from Kungarna for that first point hold that they had.
And you got to talk about the ult percentage as well here, X. I mean, obviously they push them to like 1 attempt now, but I mean they don't have anything too crazy other than the fact that Hobbs is at
they're gonna get aggressive. There's only
that could be good. Can they even make it back? They got 5 seconds.
They can make it back
for sure. They should be able to contest. It looks like Paintbrush is gonna drop though. They're already at a man disadvantage right now. That payload is nowhere near that checkpoint here, X. And man, they lose the mech from the plug. Pulse bomb about ready to go from, I believe it's Hobbs. He's going to drop it. He's going to find one for himself, and that's going to be it. That's going to be Kungarna making a hold here just under the car wash. And boy, oh boy, is No Anime Allowed going to have their hands full for the next 60 seconds.
Man, that was just so well played there by Kungarna. You know, winning out that first fight off the back of a stellar right-click burst from Crimzo. We've seen that throughout this set. I'm sure we'll see a lot more of it as that guy is insane on the Zenyatta. But, you know, getting that first pick was all too important, especially onto a support like Paintbrush. You need your supports up, you need your tanks up to be able to, you know, keep everybody else safe, to be able to keep pushing, have control of that payload. And they were just able to continue pushing their momentum. You know, that quick reset never happened from No Anime Allowed. So it was very tough for them to get back onto that point. They lost someone early because they had to get very aggressive and kind of overextend just to get onto the payload just in general. So now, look at the way that they plan on holding this. Tekka is on the Bastion. No Orisa, just the Reinhardt Diva. They have the Genji as well, or rather a Tracer.
Bastion right now, man. Wouldn't that be something if both of these guys weren't the Bastion?
Applies on Widow too, so they don't really have a lot of barrier damage, so now you have to wonder what the setup is going to be like for Tekka, and if he can take advantage of the fact that they kind of have the advantage in terms of...
What's happening? Both Bastions, man! I wonder what the reaction is from both teams right now. I would love to hear some comms. They've got the Bastion, they've got the Bastion. Well, is it going to be enough?
Okay, they just saw that they have a Bastion with that shot, so Hobbs is going to swap the Tracer. I think that's a great swap for him at the moment. That's really good that they were able to make that swap. I think this really works out for them for sure.
We'll see if they're able to make anything of it. Remember, they're down to 30 seconds right now, so they need to do something quickly. Apply needs to pop off like he did to get this map underway on offense here. He found pick after pick after pick, and he's got to find a way to deal with Tekka.
Forwards!
Out of position. Forward's not quite going to be the case, though. Is that payload is so close. I mean, look at where the payload is right now here. I mean, they could sneak this at that. Sugar Free is on this one, but the Bastion up top trying to drill him down. We're down to overtime almost. Just about. Karkar is going to drop, though. Oh, boy. That's not good at all. They just need to contest the payload.
Well, they're continuing to push it. Barrier is very low here. Karkar is back up from respawn, but everybody's dying off. No Anime Allowed is going to be stealing this away.
Oh my goodness. Michael's still here. He's going to be taken out of the mech. The Diva might have just done it. Mercy's coming back in. It's not going to be a miracle this time. We are headed to a game number 3 on Hollywood. Oh man, No Anime Allowed, keeping things interesting.
I think interesting is definitely the word for it, as a pick that should have happened onto forwards, as he was way out of position. I mean, way out of position. Just a missed shot from Widow, which, you know, that happens, unfortunately. But for Kungarna, it was especially unfortunate because that pick could have easily changed things and allowed them to take this 2-0. Now going into a game 3, you'll have to remind me, what is the last map, Hollywood?
It is Hollywood.
I don't know. That's going to be a long one for sure, I think, as well. And now I'm sure Kungarna's sitting there thinking to themselves how different they would be feeling right now if they had just taken that first point defense. I mean, they were so close to it, and it just slipped through the fingers.
Or second point defense, man.
Or the second point.
Or even the third point. I mean, they're super close. Game number 3, this is it, guys. This is the AG Weekly number 81, brought to you by Haste. Provides us with a $100 prize pool every single week. Big shout out to them, but we're switching sides again here. No Anime Allowed on defense to get things underway. Hollywood for the first time tonight. It's getting late. Man, imagine if we actually had a round of 32 this week. It would be, whew, another 30 minutes onto that timer.
At least 30 minutes, yeah. Because you never know how some teams, you know, start late or have 87 questions.
Every single week, you mean?
All right, as things start up here, though, looking to see what kind of selections we're going to be seeing from the attacking side especially, but we can start off with the defense. Rampant Rhino Plug going over to their main picks. I mean, it seems like everybody's just mostly going for the same setups that we would see more often than not. As Sugar Free is going to be on the Soldier here, holding up on Cafe, but now how are they going to deal with it? Apply right now is on this Hanzo, and I'm sure a lot of people are having PTSD right now seeing this Hanzo pick, but Apply is a guy that I think can get away with it, and we'll have to see if he winds up sticking with it or if he's instead going to go over to something like a Genji or something like that. Certainly going to be plausible for him to do that, but Hanzo is still okay. I think he's going to swap to a Genji, though, and that is going to be the case. So they're going to look to be very aggressive, diving into Cafe, looking not really to take down Sugar Free, but certainly put some pressure onto Paintbrush especially, as that's going to be an easy kill for them to get if they're able to kind of get the drop on them.
All or nothing. This is it for first place. No anime allowed. Curix find their first AG tournament victory ever, I think it would be. Quick prediction. Who's got it right now?
Kungarna.
Kungarna. Curix is going with Kungarna. I'm going to take no anime allowed on this one, man, and they get off to a hot start. Vita Coco going to be taken down. Kungarna, of course, not opting very often to go with the Mercy. Karkar likes to play that Lucio, very skilled at it, but this time around, not going to have the Mercy, so they're going to be shut down for their first attempt. They actually did get a tick, so that's a good start nonetheless.
Yeah, they were able to get it up to 35.3, so now going into this next push, yeah, you still have an opportunity here because Paintbrush isn't close enough to that Transcendence, but if you lose this fight, that first point is going to be very, very difficult all of a sudden because that Transcendence is going to be online. When you dive in, they're going to have that easy ability to counter dive. It's going to be kind of tough to turn that one back around.
Hobbs is looking to get back around the Cafe, though, so maybe see if he can find one off guard. They're going to jump up top to actually force the Zenyatta out of position here. Hobbs with a Pulse Bomb, not quite able to find a kill, though. Rampant Rhino is so low, he's going to get dropped, but a Valkyrie going to keep them in this fight for the time being, Curix, and that is it. The self-destruct finds Apply, and it's going to shut him down for the time being. Going to force him all the way back, Curix. Already 90 seconds off the board. And no anime allowed, looking really good right now, Curix. I mean, a tick on the board is pretty good for Kungarna, but again, so many weird things have happened throughout this set in terms of like last second attempts to grab the checkpoint. Anything can happen at this point.
Paintbrush pretty much ready to go with that Transcendence. If anybody dies him, he's going to have that available just by getting off a little bit of damage, unless the defense matrix is just right there on point. But they have to wait now for Michael to get his matrix back online. He does have that self-destruct available as he gets it back up, but still, their next dive is going to be very, very difficult to pull off as that Transcendence is going to be available on both sides.
They're going to go ahead and drop a sound barrier to give the support over to Apply with the Dragon Blade here. Still no kills on the board thanks to the Transcendence. Now Transcendence out from Crimzo as well as they pile onto the payload on the point. Curix, they lose forwards, but Vita Coco also off the board. This is looking good for the side of Kungarna. Primal Rage from Rampant Rhino might be able to keep them alive, but no kills really coming in their favor right now. They've got a reset from the Plug with the self-destruct. Might be what they need, especially if they can get forwards back into the fight, but he doesn't have his Valkyrie. The Plug going to be taken out of this one, and that should be checkpoint A, going over to Kungarna.
A great composure there from Kungarna. They're going to be able to take it, and not only that, but Karkar, who used his sound barrier pretty early on there, he's going to be already back up to 54% towards the next. Why? Oh, he's actually going to swap over to the Mercy instead. I wonder what the reasoning is behind that, as they looked really good with the Lucio, actually. Just getting Vita Coco into position much more easily, was able to switch targets much faster rate, but still, that Mercy is incredibly strong, so you can't really ever deny that. He actually knocks him off the high ground. Vita Coco
falling again to get the fight started here. It's kind of unexpected, given he was, a reason for their victory on Numbani and their dominance at the latter half of that map. They are going to be able to play rather aggressively on the defensive side of things with picking up that Winston kill. This Karkar taken out of the picture here. Under 3 minutes to go. Kungarna, plenty of time to work with. A few ultimates in the pipeline, most notably Apply with the Dragon Blade, who has been so dominant on it throughout this game. Needs to be able to find forwards, needs to be able to find Sugar Free up top.
Definitely looking for some value out of that blade, and I mean, Forwards right now has been known to be a little aggressively positioned, so maybe Apply can look for that beam. You see it right now up on that high ground and go directly for it. You see the shift ready to go for forwards. If you pull that out, which it is right now, then you might be able to find that kill very rapidly, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case.
And they're able to pull back. Notice that the Transcendence is on the payload. Now we're going to see it come out from Paintbrush. Not quite able to save the day for the Plug and his mech of the Diva, but full spawn out now from the side of Hobbs. Not able to find anything for himself either. That looks like it was Tech. A Dragon Blade, though, from Apply. He is going into the back, but no, he is shut down before he gets brought back up into this one. Ults flying left and right, but just more time being drained off the clock here for the side of No Anime Allowed, who are going to be able to push him back again here. Looking very good on defense.
So behind the Valkyrie from Karkar, they still just get pushed down and suffocated almost. And Apply right now is going to be swapping over to the Soldier, which I'm not sure. I mean, they have to be able to get onto that high ground. They have to be able to contest it, throw them off of it, and get Apply up there for him to really be valuable pickup on this Soldier. So I'm not sure about this so far. We'll have to see how it goes for them. Soldier versus Soldier, and on the ground versus up on that high ground.
You can find a way to contest that one, of course. Michael has done a pretty good job along with Vita Coco getting up there, but Vita Coco has dropped multiple times to get the fight started. He might actually do it again. Yes, the tactical visor, too much. Michael tries to take him out from the high ground with the use of his self-destruct, but doesn't really get much accomplished here. So again, this is No Anime Allowed. Looking very strong on defense, but they used a lot of ultimates in that last fight here, so not going to quite have a whole lot moving into the next one. But forwards coming up on a Valkyrie could be very important for potentially what could be a final fight with 40 seconds to go.
You said 40 seconds. We need a pause, it looks like. Vita Coco calling for it. Really sure what happened. What happened last time, I think you asked?
I asked, but got no reply.
Another one.
Let's see what's up.
Alright, now they're ready. I think Michael had an issue. Oh, his game froze.
Well, it happens. It happens.
How was he able to type?
Well, maybe his game unfroze, Hirix.
30 seconds.
Who knows? One of the great mysteries of the world. Anyhow, Hirix, we're down to 25 seconds to go. A couple things in the pipeline for the side of Kungarna. What do they need to do to find a way to get the second checkpoint locked down?
They have to get those guys off the high ground. They're just safely seated up there. Sugar Free especially has been a huge factor in this right now, because there's so much space for Sugar Free to do whatever he's wanted, or he has wanted to do so far, and Vita Coco just can't get in there with Michael taking way too much pressure and not having his mech more often than not.
Oh, and this might spell defeat for the side of Kungarna. They don't really have much of a presence on the payload right now. Things just opened up poorly. They actually found an opening pick on the Tekka Hirix, but it didn't do anything. Boards came in for the Resurrect. They found a kill on the Karkar, and what a hold from No Anime Allowed. Man, you were thinking that one was going to go the distance. I thought it was for both teams as well, but an unprecedented, I guess, third map doesn't. And now they've got their work cut out for them to see if they can take home their first AG victory.
Definitely in a great position to do that, but Kungarna has been pretty solid on first point so far. I mean, especially on Gibraltar, they looked really good. Obviously, other than their overtime push, but outside of that, they have looked pretty stellar on their attacks. But you're gonna have to hold out, and I don't know. I think they really made a lot of mistakes there in the second phase of the map, where they should have been able to contest that high ground. They just weren't able to. Pulling out a Genji, using Michael and Vita Coco to just push that forward, get some people up there. You don't have to kill them on high ground. You don't have to take that fight. The idea is you just push them off of it, knock them off, push them onto the low ground, so that you can actually take a one-to-one fight where nobody has really a big favor, which is what we saw Sugar Free having by being so safe. No one was able to contest him. He was just laying out free damage on that Soldier, almost pretty much throughout that second phase of the map.
We'll see if Kungarna has what it takes, Hirix. I mean, we've seen some great plays from Apply throughout this match. Michael's had a few moments where he shined. Same with Hobbs. And Vita Coco started out the set on fire. We'll see if they're able to pull it together here in the end and see if they can make a first point holder, I guess, just after that. Usually you don't really see holds in the middle of Hollywood, like in the middle part of that second checkpoint. So a very strange place to actually stop. So I honestly, I feel like it's first point hold or nothing here for Kungarna.
4, 3, 2,
They've gotten close a couple of times, but just haven't been able to close it out.
defend objective.
Now we'll have to see if they can make it work this time around. Same thing is the case here for this one, as we do see the same setup on both sides as teams have swapped, but it really just mirrored their compositions, their respective compositions. Now they're going to try to get very aggressive here as Rampant Rhino just jumps right in. Everybody's taking a lot of damage. Karkar almost falling out, but Sugar Free first to go down.
It's kind of a battle of, can the defense retreat in time? Can they save their carries and their supports? But it seems like this time they did just that. A good start nonetheless. That's exactly what you want to see if you're a Kungarna fan. Definitely want to get off to a hot start. Try to get those ult charges up and ready, and see if Hobbs can get that pulse bomb ready to go. Open up maybe with a kill on like Sugar Free or Forwards to get the next fight started and put yourself in an advantageous position right off the bat.
And we talked a little bit, before how jumping into a Zenyatta, you don't want to give him up too much at ult advantage so that he has that transcendence on your next push in, but look at Crimzo. Already has one available almost. He's at 86%, has been landing out crazy amounts of damage, has taken Paintbrush out again in that last fight. So he has a Transcendence available already. So if they push in, if he gets low, or if they need it, they can do this. But Rampant Rhino already taken out, so is Sugar Free. He doesn't need to pull it out at all anymore.
Ooh. Well, they actually go ahead and pop the Valkyrie. Forwards only manages to grab one before he's taken down, actually interrupted with that ult as he dropped. But regardless, they threw a lot into that fight, being down a couple of guys here, and maybe just wanted to throw the cards on the table, see if they can get something with the Valkyrie, but very risky play from Forwards in doing that. And the fact he wasn't able to grab two put them in a really bad position to actually find something. Down to 210 here. Still a chance with Paintbrush coming up on the Transcendence, and Sugar Free about ready to go with the Dragon Blade. See if he can find a ply in the back.
I think they were overly liberal with their ults here, and they're going to pay for it. Crimzo not having that Transcendence, they're going to lose Karkar, which is a big pickup for Sugar Free to have gotten.
Visor from up top, apply, trying to find something, but the plug, great positioning to keep him pushed back. Tekka comes around the corner, finds the kill for himself. Meanwhile, on the point, it's Rampant Rhino running rampant as the Primal Raged Winston here, but he is all alone now. He is not in a good spot, but Sugar Free's back. Paintbrush coming through with some support. And Hurix, they're going to be forced back again. 90 seconds to go. Kungarna looking like they might have a chance to win this game.
I would be very surprised if they still keep this one out. I mean, it's a very difficult hold to make against this No Enemy Allowed team, but a miss. Oh, that was a miss jump coming out from Rampant Rhino. That's a big mistake that they're going to be able to exploit and take advantage of. They're punishing him, punishing the rest of No Enemy Allowed actually because of that. But the big thing here is, again, that Transcendence, the really pivotal factor of this push, especially in the last fight, given just how close quarters everything can be. That's a huge advantage to have. If Paintbrush comes online with his, Crimzo comes online with his, I think a little bit of an advantage to Kungarna, as the aggression's going to favor Kungarna to be able to counter
again, man. He got displaced as he tried to get up top, and Michael did a good job of kind of barring him out. Now we're going to see a self-destruct come out onto the payload from Michael, down to 35 seconds, but Karkar is out of the picture. This could be what No Anime Allowed needed to get things going for themselves. Apply, one of the big damage dealers, is no longer with the team here, and that's going to be checkpoint A confirmed. They're going to get another 230, and No Anime Allowed just turned this game completely around in their favor with 230. That's going to be added to the clock here.
So now the question becomes, are they going to be able to deal with the high ground? Now, Apply is going to have plenty of time to go ahead and get up into that same position that we saw Sugar Free in, just moments ago. But they have the Genji this time. They have the ability to go out there, be aggressive, push these guys off the high ground, or at least, really kind of contest them to a huge degree, put some pressure onto Forwards, onto Karkar, rather. And, if they can do that, they can actually get a lot of distance covered by this payload.
There's the high ground contest. Immediately, Crimzo Apply taken down. Karkar's got the Valkyrie to get them both back up, though, Hurix, but it does give the actual payload numbers advantage over to the side of No Enemy Allowed. With that in mind, Karkar might have just saved the day. Both the Winstons are out of the picture, and that Valkyrie coming up clutch for the side of Kungarna, who still have an opportunity. 150 to go, but a single team fight to No Enemy Allowed is game over.
Hobbs did a lot with that, putting out some pressure to make sure that they maintained. Sugar Free with the blade, though. And so far, we know that Sugar Free is incredibly consistent with it, usually finding 1 or 2 kills, some high-value targets as well, but the big one here is going to be Apply, and he already got off a good start, putting Apply down to about half his health. Still has that blade available. Does have to deal with the attack visor that Apply just pulled out, so he can't pull it out yet.
Yeah, they're just going to be forced to back off this one. A little bit of a zoning ult, I guess you could say. And with Crimson out of the picture, Car taking down Tekka, coming up big. Does Dragon Blade up top Apply. Going to be taken down. Transcendence cannot save Hobbs, as it's going to be all sugar-free. And a big opening play coming through from the side of Tekka. Car moves over to the Lucio to try to get back to the payload in time. It's Michael, it's Vita Coco with the Primal Rage, but he's not going to be able to last too much longer here. There's too many people here for no anime allowed. Car is back in the mix. Hurix, I think they've done it. No anime allowed. In just a matter of moments here, Apply comes back. He's taken down. Hobbs is in the area. He's not going to be lasting, man. I think they've taken their first AG.
And what a way to do it, too, against a name like Kungarna. They've been struggling to find these finals wins for the last couple of weeks here, and finally taking it against a powerhouse that is Kungarna, the name at least. But again, Kungarna is one of those rosters that I think that we'll be seeing for a couple weeks, and every week they're just going to be that much better until it really becomes apparent that they're a very strong roster. Obviously, they have the talent. Just defensively, you see them making a lot of kind of little errors, which it just comes down to the fact that, you know, they haven't had maybe as much time as a roster to kind of gel. And once they have that opportunity, defense is going to look a lot